Hey guys, it's Squid. I am getting word that there is a verdict. Or the jury has a question, not really sure. People are saying there's a verdict. The judge is back, so whatever it is, we will address it right here, right now. Um, I know. So what I did was I set it up for 2:30 and I was working out and then I showered, so like I forgot to push it back, but it was like whenever the verdict was in is when I'd go live. So it was, you know, it was it was kind of whenever the jury came back. We were playing it by ear. I just set up a stream so that I had one because the last thing I needed to do is find out that there was a verdict and not have a stream set up and have to go through all the work of setting up a stream. So I understand. I'm sorry I didn't make that more clear when I was setting things up when we left the last time. But the judge is back and people in chat are saying that there's a verdict. I have not actually seen it. I've heard question. So whatever it is, we're going to find out what it is. And we are just rolling with the punches here. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not 100% sure there's a verdict or a question, but all I know is the judge is back, so we back. Knowing this jury, they will come back with a verdict the second I leave my house for work, because that's the way it always works. I also did set up a stream for 9:30 tonight. Um, in the What the Hales case, Randy Shockett's response to the motion for extended time to disclose a rebuttal witness or a rebuttal expert. Um, that was supposed to drop today, but knowing Randy and knowing the court, it won't be uploaded till the end of the day. I will be at work, recovery addict saying it's a jury question. And I'm wondering what the question is, if it's an evidentiary question or it's a procedural question. So since it's supposed to drop today, I just set up a time for roughly when I get home from work and I get settled in.
Present with Ms. Thornhill and Mr. Hendry. Mr. Levine is here for the state. The jury has a request. It's been reduced to writing. It's dated 2/4/25. It reads, Judge Abdoni, we are requesting court transcript from Susan Detman's neighbors, Sally Bell and Nancy Jones. Sincerely, Juror 1980896. Mr. Levine?
I'm amenable to any request, Your Honor.
Ms.
Me
Thornhill?
either.
Well, Judge, we're not real time, and I don't believe that a transcript is available for that. I could be wrong.
Well, I don't think we provide transcripts because it's required to be done in open court. All I can do is permit a readback or a playback, but I don't think there's a recording. So is that
Playback.
correct, Madam Court Reporter? No playback? All right.
Your live stream.
So
Playback on crimes coverage.
Bar has recommended certain instructions in this instance. First, the standard instruction directs or suggests they be told that transcripts are not available, but that they may have testimony read back to them.
Yeah.
And then
Now you know why I
combine that
set
with the
up.
instruction that talks about how long it's going to take the court reporter to prepare it for readback, and then tell them to discuss their request further.
Hey.
And if they're not able to resolve their question about the requested testimony by
Pipes
relying
burst
on their
in the
collective
grocery store.
memory, they should write down as specific as a description as possible of the part of the witness's testimony they want to hear. So I can do that, or I can say no, just flat out no. So Mr. Levine?
I'm fine with either one, Your Honor.
Judge, if I could have a moment.
All right.
I can't imagine it. I mean, I assume the judge has other work to do.
To say no, because there's obviously something they cannot collectively remember, but
Judge,
you have the look of, you want me to say no on your face.
I do. I should not play poker with you.
No. Well, I should not play poker with anyone because I'm not very good at it.
I hear that because
I like that this judge has a sense of humor.
at any rate, at this point, I think because it's such a general request, if you tell them that transcripts are not available and leave it at that, and then if they come back on their own with a more specific request, maybe we can entertain the idea of asking them if they, letting them know it would take a while to have a read back done, and if they can narrow down their request further, that would be helpful. So basically, baby steps. Start with no transcripts are available. Please rely on your collective memories.
Mr. Levine?
Could you please read their question one more time?
We are requesting, I think that says court. We are requesting court transcript from Susan Detman's neighbors, Sally Bell and Nancy Jones.
Hey now.
I'm fine with the court doing whatever you feel is appropriate under the circumstances.
That doesn't really help
Is
the
there
court now,
some
does it?
prejudice to taking 2 baby steps first and saying transcripts are not available? A readback may be possible, but we will need you to be more specific regarding your request or the portions.
How about 2.5 baby steps then? If you're not willing to tell them just no transcripts are available, please rely on your collective memories. Then add the step of a readback may be possible if you can narrow your request further. Just so that they don't come back and say we want all the testimony of both witnesses read, because that I think is a problem, because then we could get into having a readback of every witness's testimony.
All right, so let me cobble
That's true.
something together out of these various instructions. How long? Well,
30 minutes.
okay. Whether they, no matter what they want.
They were short, right?
Yes, they were
They
fairly
weren't
short.
the longest witnesses in the world, but they also weren't.
Why don't you just play back the law and crime footage? Nope, Debbie, I feel the same way. If it would have been just his mother, it might be plausible that it was self-defense based on her personality and the circumstances. However, you don't kill 2 parents in self-defense. 15 to, what was it, February 14th of 2023 to September. So 18 months? 19 months? I mean, that's just, maybe if it was 1, but 2, I have a hard time believing that the circumstances are set up. Otherwise, you have the personality where you think everybody is attacking you all the time, which in this day and age, when you talk loudly to someone, they feel, oh my God, you burst their bubble. Speaking of interesting comments, I had a comment on my my last What the Hales video.
As I'm writing it down, I'm thinking though, if we ask them to narrow their request, then that might risk the possibility of highlighting a certain piece of testimony over any other piece of testimony. So
Yeah,
I'll
I
go
know.
back to my original
That's the
request
downside.
of just saying that.
But like,
no
it is
transcripts are
recorded.
available.
Mr. Levine?
If we're gonna say there are no transcripts available, I think it should be included, but a readback may be possible.
So they want witness testimony. The question now is,
Response.
where do you feel the jury is
I know what
leaning?
I'm thinking.
Because
Like I
it's the
said,
neighbor's testimony.
Obviously, it would be helpful to know if there's a particular area that they are asking for a readback on. But then, like I said, that could highlight one portion of one witness's testimony, and they may miss some other part of partial readback. But on
Huh.
the other hand, they're asking for both witnesses' transcripts of all their testimony. That tells me they're sort of fishing for something, which I don't think is appropriate for a readback.
So I'm not sure which.
So
She
at this
she
point,
argued
I think
against
I'd
herself again.
rather You just say there are no transcripts available and leave the ball in their court as far as what they want to do beyond that. Usually in this circuit, the judges err on the side of not over-explaining, not over-offering. So I think that might be the best way to approach it.
All right, well, the instruction suggests that I can be somewhat generous in my response, but ask them to be as specific as they can. So I intend to advise them transcripts are not available, to discuss their request. If they can't resolve it with their collective memory, then they may request to have testimony read back to them, and that if they decide to make such a request, it should be as specific as possible.
That's acceptable to the state, Ron.
And over your objection,
Yes.
that's how they will be instructed. So let me just finish here.
I think it's different. I think they're both good. Abdany didn't have quite such an
All right,
obnoxious
so
client or
our intention is
defendant.
to advise the members of the jury you have asked that transcripts of testimony be provided for you. Transcripts are not available. However, a readback of testimony may be granted at the court's discretion. I now direct you to return to the jury room and discuss your request further. If you are not able to resolve your question about the requested testimony by relying on your collective memory, then you may request to have testimony read back to you. If you decide to make such a request, it should be as specific as possible. All right. We're ready.
All right, I'm curious to see what the jury is going to do. And my opinion on this is just my opinion on why they wanted it was the neighbors talked about how she entered the house. He grabbed her by the hair. I believe they want to know what was said and specifics. Yeah. We don't have the transcript, but we can read them to you. Shaking my head. My mother died. My mother didn't die. Okay, that quote, that soundbite, it's a quote, but it's taken out of context. But I understand. And I had this conversation. Like, I'm not a fan of Lynette by any means, but like playing devil's advocate, I've had people actually tell me I died, but I really didn't die. So I I laugh at that, the way it was mashed together in a soundbite or in a quote, but benefit of the doubt, I've had patients literally tell me, quote, I died, but I really didn't die. When their heart stopped, they were given CPR and they came back. So like playing devil's advocate, like I understand why people think it's hilarious, but at the same time, it's a true thing that people say. I'm not even a nurse, and I think that can happen. Oh yeah, it's I just like it's funny when people say that, but I'm like, guys, I'm hoping for the first, but I think they'll come back second. I think the manslaughter can be ruled out. Yeah, if it was manslaughter, they would have already come back. I think the kidnapping charge. I agree with Joanna. The kidnapping charge is what's the holdup. I think that they want to know or remember specifically because the defense kept saying she walked in there on her own. That's got to mess with your memory, and I believe that's why the defense attorney kept mentioning it like that. It's just life, I believe. I don't think the death penalty is on the table. I haven't seen anything in the last 5 months about the death penalty. So, unless something
Members of the
happened under
jury,
my
you
nose
have
and I didn't
asked
hear.
that transcripts of certain testimony be provided for you. Transcripts are not available. However, a readback of testimony may be granted in the court's discretion. I'm going to instruct you to return to the jury room and discuss your request further. If you are not able to resolve your question about the requested testimony by relying on your collective memory, then you may request to have testimony read back to you. Again, that would be granted in my discretion, if at all. Now, if you decide to make such a request, it should be as specific as possible. You may now continue with your deliberations.
All rise, please.
Yeah. That this right here, Flash fan, thank you for reminding me of this. It didn't come to mind when I was listening to or talking about I know, right? And here's the language.
I will also tell you, I don't know who told Mr. Hertel, but the jury verbally told him they want to end at 4:30 today. I did not ask him to have them put that in writing because they might change their mind. They know to tell him they want to go home for the evening. So I just left it at that. Any objection to that, Mr. Levine?
No, Your
No, sir.
All right.
Well, there's that.
Don't go far.
Okay, so we have another hour, which is kind of good news for me because I'm not gonna lie. I don't like to be away from things and my computer, and I have to work tonight. So even though I only work for a couple hours, generally that's when shit goes down. So knowing that the jury wants to leave at 4:30 makes me happy because we'll either have a verdict or tomorrow morning I will start my stream. I will plan it for 10 a.m. Um, and if I will plan it for 10 a.m. And if I find out that there's if I'm keeping an eye on it and I see that there's a verdict earlier, I will go live earlier. Um, do you hope to see another Abdoni case or Abdoni case? Now that I heard him say his own name, Abdoni, or are you done with his slow talking? The fact that I watch all these cases in at least 1.25 speed, I think he's a good judge. I would love to see. Well, here's the thing. So I would love to see another case of his in a different context because speaking of Wisconsin cases, Flash fan, I know you've been looking for one, but here's my 2 cents on a certain other situation. We saw Judge Schroeder in the Rittenhouse case seem like a great judge. We also saw Judge Schroeder in the Zachariah Anderson case be a complete douchebag and a waste of taxpayer dollars. So I would like to see another Abdoni case in the sense of, is he always this good of a judge or is it situational? I also had heard a rumor that Judge Schroeder had a stroke in between both trials that he was doing. I don't know if that's actually true. However, if it is, I'm wondering why they let a post-stroke judge do an unaliving case. I'm sorry, but if you have a mental or a medical issue that interferes with your cognition, that your cognition and your cognition is central to being a judge. So there's that. I would love to see this case just to see if my impressions of him are correct because he can look like a great judge in this case, and then he does a burglary case and looks like a complete asshole. Like, so what he did to Zach Anderson damn near give me a stroke. Yeah. 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 Mm. He also had one of his cases reversed, the first Mark Jensen case in 2008. Was that Schroeder? Because I lived near there. He's in Kenosha County. I did not live in Kenosha County. I was up north, by like an hour. But we will see what he did. I'm kind of tempted to wait to see if the jury comes back. While we are waiting just to see if the jury comes back with a more specific question, I will show you one of the cases that I am going to be reading this Sunday at 4:30 Eastern, and Rosalind Duke is coming on to help me read it because it is long. And I'm trying to convince Rogue Mama to help come help read it too. This is I have the other one up in the background, but here is a case that I am working on, or I'm not working on it. It's a case that was just filed. It is Michael Robert Tillman versus Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke, an individual connections classroom. Michael Washburn and Does IX individuals. So yeah, this is a 112-page lawsuit. And I have to thank Rogue Mama for this one, because she's the one that first told me that there was a new lawsuit against Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrandt. And I went looking for it. So this is Rogue Mama. Rogue Mama gets the credit for this one. But because it is so long, I'm inviting friends to help me because it's making me stutter. Yeah. So it's civil. It's not criminal, it's civil. So it's just long. The documents that I have 3 documents. I have the actual complaint, the cover sheet, which is just 2 pages, and then an exhibit. Yeah. Hildebrandt's the one with all the money, though. Franke didn't have shit. Well, yeah, they're oh yes, Ruby Franke was a complete. And the reason why I think that this is appropriate for me to cover is because this is not having to do with the children in the sense of what they were convicted of. I just I was watching Megan's channel when she was going through on her locals. She went through all the journals. I think it was on locals because that stuff is not YouTube appropriate. But it was like I could not do that as a parent, and that was triggering for me. It was a very difficult thing to hear about. So the reason that I'm like thinking this one will be fine is because this is civil. This is about money. This is not about torturing people who can't defend themselves. And a child is generally innocent. There's a lot of things that children and the child brain can't, like, when an adult treats a child like an adult, there's something wrong with that, because child brains are not fully developed. So like oh yes, Megan is covering, she is doing a retro trial right now. It was the case that that Vices was doing when he passed away. So it's kind of honoring her friend. She's doing that case. There is nothing back yet. I'm kind of like, do we hang out? Do I just pause the stream, say, hey, I'll come back when there's a verdict? What's the consensus of what everybody wants to do? Because there's a good chance we'll be coming back at 4:30 to just excuse the jury. I don't know if that's worth streaming. Just because it's like, why come back and stream something that is just dismissing? Yeah. Yes, children cannot consent. But it does beg the question of a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old who has the ability to make their own decisions. However, just because they have the ability to make their own decisions doesn't mean those are good decisions. 16, 17 is where you kind of get like, that's where it gets really questionable to me. I don't know how the rest of y'all feel, but eat a cheeseburger, that's what I want to do. I just finished our leftover burgers from yesterday. There was like a 3/4 of a burger left, and I split it with the little. So hopefully she's actually gonna actually eat it. She's a grazer, so she'll like take a bite, she'll go and play, she'll come back, she'll take a bite. So I just kind of make sure there's food always available for her, and she can do what she wants with it. Flash fan, you're all about the food. You're all about the food. My son wants to marry his Nintendo Switch. Yeah. See, you know. And I was a super tomboy when I was little. So, like, if I was a super tomboy when I was little, if I was growing up in 2025, would they tell me that I should have been born a boy? Because I'm still kind of a tomboy, but I embrace the girly side too. Like, I actually straightened my hair. Like, what the heck? Sort of. I straightened my hair, but you would really never know because in the humidity outside, it goes straight back to crap. I can only do my best, you know. Let me check Pacer to see if anything is updated in the. Nope, there's still nothing in the What the Hell's federal case. Y'all gonna be doing some research for me. If the jury doesn't come back in the next 15 minutes with a question, yeah, me too. Me too. I graduated in 04, so it's still technically, you know, but I grew up in the 90s. I was a 90s kid. 80s baby, 90s kid. There is this. Would it be nice if I actually downloaded this? I'll be eating calamari. Sorry, Squid. Oh, this is gonna take. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Oh, and the issue I was very upset about this morning. I texted Mr. Squid the relevant information, and he told me that he would take it because I hung up on my lender. Because she's trying to make it out that the issue that was going on was my fault. Like I told you. It was like, no, I clarified, and y'all didn't tell me that shit. So, which means you are old enough to be my parent because I was born in the mid 80s. I split it right down the middle. All right. This was 125. This lawsuit was filed on the 25th of January. And I'm trying to remember to do my new labeling system with documents. So I label it by year first. Hildebrandt. All right. Gotta make a new folder. This is the new one. So this is kind of a chill stream now. Squid gonna put in boxing gloves. Oh my god, I'm trying not to be like. I'm just trying not to be a complete douche. That's why I was like, I text in our group chat afterwards, and I'm like, sorry, I just can't do this right now. Like, I can't be rational right now. So, yeah. And I will never, ever, ever be working with this lender again. I would much rather find somebody new who, when there's a miscommunication, doesn't put it on me that I told you. No, bitch, you didn't. No, bitch, you didn't. Ruby, Frankie, Civil. That's the name of this folder is Ruby, Frankie, still Civil. Because Ruby Frankie is anything but civil, but complaint, it's 112 pages. The exhibit is 32, so we're obviously not going to read through it right now because I just can't. I can't. My brain can't do that. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should go with USAA next time. It would just be so much easier when everything's all in the you know, uh exhibit 1 is 32 pages. So, and the Connections website is still up, which is the even creepiest part, you know? Um, Flash fan, what I do need to do is find, I'm gonna leave this up. I'm just gonna mute it so we don't get that white noise because it's slightly annoying. What's with all these evil kids and parents? There's a lot of evil in this world, and I feel like now that trials are streamed, it's not that there's more of it than there was 50 years ago. We just see it. When there's no technology, when there's no internet, there's no cell phones with the ability to capture everything on video. Cops don't have body cams. Um, Trials aren't streamed on YouTube. There is no YouTube. Um, uh, I I don't think there's any more crazy in this world. I just think there's more of it, or there's more press about it. And since there's more press about it, it just seems like there's more. I do think there's more of a mental health issue. But that's a separate discussion altogether. Your husband has USA and Navy Federal. I haven't used my Navy Federal account in like 10 years. They closed it on me because it was inactive. So, but I did have Navy Federal, but now I just have USAA. So much easier. I should have just done everything through USAA. Flash fan, what? I'm gonna look up some information on Mia Bailey, but I have to go check on the little real quick because she got quiet. So I'll be right back in a sec. You got greasy hands, girl. Stop. We need to also look up Christopher Schultz and Mia Bailey. Arizona is notoriously difficult for documents. No? Okay. Girl. Hey, why do we do this? You're gonna fall. Christopher Schultz was the hot car case in Arizona that we will there hasn't been anything since November. Angel Bug. Bailey is due to be arraigned February 20th at 3 p.m. Let me write that down. Here. Yeah. Here, you take this one. You take this one. Yeah, can I write? What? Don't lean backwards, you're gonna fall. Okay, 3 p.m. Mia Bailey arraignment. Finally, Mia Bailey is a transgender female out of Utah who unalived allegedly, but told the cops they'd do it again. And I'm referring to her as a female just for whatever your opinion is on that situation. The court, they legally did change their name to Mia. And the court refers to them as female. So it's just easier to, it's just easier. Otherwise, that crap gets really confusing. So, regardless of what your opinions are on that topic, your opinions are your opinions. Do you want a piece of paper? You have paper right here. You have paper right here. Whatever your opinions are on the topic, I am not judging you. I'm just referring to them as a female because that's what the judge is doing, and it makes life easier on everybody because it gets less confusing. So, yeah, Bailey, in my opinion, if they did it, it's more evil. Here, baby, you have that one. You have this one right here. Yeah. Mia Bailey arraignment. Yeah, Mia Bailey is interesting because they told the cops that they'd do it again. And they went on a manhunt or woman hunt. Whatever. See what I mean? How it gets confusing? Took the police on a manhunt. So we are in a weird Christopher Schultz's trial is set for September 15th of 2025, which is set to last 10 days. But that's the last update that was in November. So there's nothing about there's been nothing since November. They're not very open about their cases. You just come, yeah. I'm whatever anybody's opinion is. That's your opinion. I have mine, but just for the sake of not being extremely confused for months, it's just easier. Flash fan, in which case the Schultz or Bailey? Those are the two cases that I haven't updated anybody on at all. Because, and I will mention them in the weekend update. That I am going to do at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Because things stall. And this is what the frustrating part about covering these cases from the beginning and not just picking up, she is not just picking up on their, like, right before trial or, like saying, oh, I heard about this case last week. It's going to trial this week. We're going to watch it. I tend to follow cases from like right when they happen. The downside to doing that is sometimes people plea. Documents aren't easy to get on the West Coast. Arizona, Utah. I've had not issues getting court documents. Well, Arizona doesn't put anything online. You actually have to go into the courthouse. As we learned in Laura Owens. And then, yeah. And what's interesting is his real name is Collin. Or his birth name is Collin. He did legally change his name. So gender is still a he. Did not have a surgery, but like legal name is Mia. Did change it. So I just found that one an interesting situation because he is accused of unaliving, or she is, whatever, is accused of unaliving both of their parents and shooting at the brother and sister-in-law. And it's just one of those things of like, this case was fascinating to me because it's in Utah. And we know Utah is technically more easier to get. Yeah, but you have to pay for them. So speaking of that, I do need to look at the Jose Ibarra. So thanks for helping me do my research. Criminal search. Let's see. What's Jose Antonio? This is what Georgia, or this is what Clark County's website looked. Clark County in Georgia, because this is Athens Clark County Clerk of Court website. So this is what gets super super hard. Let's see. Ooh, look at this. We might have to do. We'll add Jose Ibarra to the weekend update because there's new docs. There's not a whole lot of new docs, but the actual motion for a new trial is up. See, this is what they look like. It says watermarks on images will be removed when images is purchased. So it's one of those situations where I don't I don't buy them. So I can't post them anywhere because I'm not buying them. But I can talk about them. And read them on stream. But I did not buy any of these, so they will not be in the Discord. But there's a motion for a new trial. I read that one, I believe. So there is a motion for a new trial, and then there are 2 entry of appearances and notice of a substitution of counsel that we'll have to go over. Leslie Spornberger Jones. And then the other one is, please say it's a different one. David Timothy Dowds. And then the substitution of counsel. So not a whole lot of updates. And this is why I'm starting to do that weekend update, is because a lot of these cases just have minor things. But yeah, that's what this is. So it says not an authorized copy because it says watermarks on images will be removed when the item is purchased. So the problem is you can't, like, I would have to select these and screenshot them instead of or save the image instead of downloading them, because there is no. So there's there's that. What was the Ethan Crumbley wanted a new trial and resentencing. Both were denied. I heard Jennifer Crumbley wants a new trial as well. Which Ethan, I can't say, but his parents, like, being a shitty parent doesn't make you liable for, I know people with shitty parents who turned out fine. Well, fine is an understatement. They're good people. They have their issues, but they're not homicidal. All right. I had heard she wanted it. I hadn't heard yet if it was denied. But thanks for that. This is the problem. This is where I don't like Athens, Clark County, is right here. There's transcript of hearing. Transcript of hearing continued, defendant's motion, original exhibits filed in office. I wanted those transcripts. Those would be nice, wouldn't they? Shell. So there's that. All right. Mia Bailey up next. Let's see. Welcome to my wonderful face. Oh my God. I'm sorry you had to do that. Whether it was justified or not justified, anybody having to go through that is just, it's not fun. All right, Edric Faust. Let's see. So this is what jury had a question and they want to leave at 4:30. So we're just kind of hanging out to see if they come back with a more specific question, or they just kind of go over it. Yeah, I know. Let's see. I couldn't find anything when I looked up the full name, but we're gonna see if well, let's see. Let's see. Edric Faust. Oh, look at that. Yes, baby. You want a piece of cheese? No? Okay. So these are all the these are all the cases that he's had. So the case from 2002. Hey. Oh, he's got the same birthday as somebody multiple people that I know. Ugh. Girl, why are we so like crazy today? He was arrested in May of 2024. Wow. All right. So I'm looking at all this stuff. All right. The filing was May 2024. Let's see if it. Ah! See, their website's not very user friendly. 2002. Ooh. Oh, that's awful. Uh-oh. So I'm looking for 2024. I can't find anything, or I can't organize it by date, so I have to do this the long way. I don't see anything. The last thing that has a court date in it is, girl, how'd you do that? Hey. Apparently there is a shortcut on the keyboard to bring up comments, and I don't know what it is, because she just hit a bunch of buttons and this comment came up. All right. And this is what's time consuming, searching for documents, because hit it, lotion. You want to, okay, you go take the lotion somewhere else. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed. It's really hard for me to notice when I'm always around her. So, jury had a question. They wanted the testimony transcripts of the grandmother's neighbors, and they can't get it. So the judge said, come back with a more specific question, and I might be able to give you a readback. And so far, they have not come back with anything. They are, we're still in this, but they did want to leave at 4:30. So we will most likely, if we don't get a verdict before 4:30, we're not going to get a verdict today, which is great because I have to work. That means I won't miss anything. So, all right. And we are looking for documents for a case for flash fan. And in Athens County, Georgia, which is where UGA is. And this is all the cases that he's been involved in. I don't see anything from 2024. So 2021 probation warrant issued. Probation status conference. There would be something in here though, because even Columbus, they had an issue 2023. Another probation violation. Wow. 2022, simple battery, disorderly conduct, criminal trespassing. There would still be something in here. Are you sure it was May of 2024? That he was 5/2024. There's 5/26/2009. Aggravated battery. He doesn't seem like he's a very good guy. Let me see. I'll just go through I'm just going through the list. July of 2020, probation violation. Driving license while suspended. I'm going through all of them, but I don't see an unaliving case right now. I'll just go through from the top down. He is not guilty. Probation, credit with time served. Public indecency. Felony after 2 convictions. Abandonment of children. child support or abandonment of children, non-support abandonment. Let's see. Probation violation. Driving while suspended. DUI and speeding. Pay your child support, peeps. Yep. Pretty much. This guy has a lengthy drink. It seems to be mostly minor shit, but shit that's easy to, like noise violation, loud music from vehicle, driving while license suspended or revoked. Oh, just a bunch of misdemeanors, mostly. Probation violation. Probation violation. Sale. Oh, here we go. Sale of cocaine. Possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Speaking of GBI, I have a bone to pick with those mofos. In my town, I have what I call the self-deletion corner, because the speed limit is like 45 and you have to make this 90-degree turn. And I also have to turn this way when people are coming and the highway is making a 90-degree turn. So I call it the self-deletion corner. I'm waiting to turn left onto my road. Freaking GBI is coming at me. Or the GBI, yeah. The good old boys. The state police. They turned left in front of me. Basically, like, no signal, no lights, no nothing. Just, like, flipped a bit straight in front of me. Whereas if I would have been moving, I would have hit them. So. Ugh. He once on my mom. Bitch will never see a dime. Yeah, that seems to be a regular thing. Let's see. Still nothing. There are people in this world that go get their nails and their hair done while their kids are in dirty clothes and look like they haven't showered in days. So, not to say that men should assume that all women are like that, but there is a yeah. Probation violation. This dude really has a problem with violating his probation. Yeah, he's not in jail. Well, I mean, he is now, but yeah, I'm not to say that all women are like that, but there are some who are. So, probation violation, felony. If his probation is revoked, how does he keep getting away with this? Because that was in 2018, and then he's got a probation violation in 2019. He basically has a probation violation a year. Probation violation in July of 2019 and August of 2019. He has a probation violation that was dismissed in July of 2020. And I'm wondering if it wasn't for COVID, would that have been dismissed? Terroristic threats and acts, pled guilty. Oh, apparently terroristic threats and acts is a misdemeanor. $120 days behind bars for a guilty plea. Let's see. Aggravated stalking, violate family violence order, harassing phone calls in 20, and this is like the repeat offenders. Like, why is this person hold on one second. I got a phone call. Oi, 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 oi. I'm about to lose my absolute crap. Um, yeah. I yeah. I'm yeah. Oof. I am about to oh, I have to apparently I'm not going to work tonight because we have stuff to work out with financing because we have 10 days before we're supposed to close, and everybody is arguing with each other. So I yeah, I have to get going. Their jury wants to be out by 4:30. Um, we have Mr. Squid and I have stuff to figure out, and I have to make a whole bunch of phone calls, and I have to log on to get some banking information, and I have to do some stuff. So I'm yeah, I'm never working with this lender again because she's a giant pain in my ass right now. So y'all have a great day. If anything happens, I'm still checking Pacer for the document from Randy Shockett. I will be going live with that as soon as it comes up. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, I'm stressed, and it's apparent. Y'all have a great day. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Flash fan, I will continue to look for your documents, but I got to go. I will see everybody on the next one. Bye, guys.